In 1917, June Campbell, a British woman fascinated by Tibetan Buddhism, traveled to Dharamsalam, the seat of the Tibetan government in exile, to fulfill her ideal of Tibetan Buddhism. She became the English translator of Kalu Rinpoche, one of the highest-ranking Buddhist monks. However, she soon found out that her job, which initially involved translation and Buddhist teaching, required a far greater sacrifice than she anticipated. She was forced to partake in the activity known as Tantra, a practice rooted in Hinduism which involved sexual intercourse between the female disciple and her male teacher as a means of reaching a higher state of enlightenment. While this practice nominally required strict implementation to ensure its conformity to religious purpose, her experience suggests otherwise. She subsequently recounted in the book that her experience was a fundamentally exploitative relationship, in which as a Western woman she became the victim of sexual abuse. After she published her account, her story was corroborated by many other female followers of Tibetan Buddhism around the world. That really raises an important question. Supporters of Free Tibet often believe that Tibet deserves to be independent because China is violating the religious freedom of Tibetans. But the truth is that the institution China sought to abolish in Tibet had little to do with religion and everything to do with politics. There is a reason why Tibetan Buddhism is not simply called Buddhism. Its teachings are regarded by many Buddhists as blasphemy. For example, the idea of living Buddha in the form of the Dalai Lama and Panchen Lama contradicts the Buddhist teaching that Buddhas are lesser humans and humans are lesser Buddhas. Second, the extensive use of human body parts, from skulls to skins, in religious artifacts is more closely associated with medieval political traditions than with Buddhist spiritual practice that rejects material possessions. And finally, there is the issue of reincarnation. The entire institution of the reincarnation of Dalai Lama conveniently serves as a means to preserve the authority of the priestly class by denying authority to any potential challengers from the secular realm. This is why when the Dalai Lama accused China of trying to destroy the Tibetan tradition by claiming the right to approve the next reincarnation of the Dalai Lama, he should also recall how China obtained the authority in the first place. It began in the 18th century when the disputes between two senior lamas eventually led to one faction to invite the Gorkhas from Nepal to invade Tibet and plunder the monasteries as the reward. The situation became so outrageous that the Qianlong Emperor intervened and ended the practice of Tibetan lamas appointing their own successors, transferring that authority to Beijing in the system known as the Golden Urn. The emperor's reasoning is simple yet convincing. The Buddha has no body. How is it possible for there to be a reincarnation?